If you bet the turn after you bluff raise that flop, I mean, you're shoving every river. Like, you're going all the way.
Which is an annoying thing because I'm probably going to try to get somebody who I've already recognized or I've already thought is probably not a regular, and so I'm going to try to get him to fold what, a pair of aces. I mean,
I know.
you know what I mean? So like what? I'm going to try to get him to fold like any top pair hand is usually not a good idea to try to get him to fold that. You know?
It's hard to know because, I mean, he really should, but yeah, he's not gonna.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean that's one of my try not to bluff people on paired boards. Try not to bluff people off of a pair of aces.
But he's gonna know that he should fold. Like, he's gonna be sitting there by his computer in, like, Brazil with a name like Papa and being like, I don't have the best hand.
It's kind of funny because I fucking thought I checked his location and I can't remember what it was. At some point in the video, I certainly check his location, and it's something that I like. It's something like that's illegible. I just can't read what it is, or I can read it, but I just can't like pronounce it, or it just doesn't sound like a location to me.
Yeah, I'm going with Rio. That's my guess.
That's probably a pretty good guess. I mean, it wasn't that because it was something I couldn't pronounce, but that's probably pretty close to where he lives.
Paulo?
It wasn't that. I don't know what it was. But anyways, on the right hand side, I opened 10-3 suited in the cutoff. It just can't be that bad. I mean, it might be not that great, but I mean, it's a suited hand and it's in the cutoff at 3-6, and so I just decided I could open it.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it certainly isn't worse than King 9 off and then defending the 3-bet. So, if you like that King 9 off hand, I got a fun one for you later in the video. Anyways, so here we go. Again, I don't have a HUD up, and I think that a HUD probably wouldn't help me that much anyways. But Fast Eddie and Nanonoko are messing around a little bit pre-flop, but to be honest, not a lot of stuff goes past pre-flop. I just don't feel like there's just anything interesting really. I just feel like there haven't been a lot of hands that have gone down post-flop as far as I feel like between the regulars, I should say. I should preface this by saying I just feel like Nanonoko, Pigface, and Fast Eddie, who've identified as the regulars, are really aggro pre-flop.
KVP's a regular too.
Yeah, okay, KVP. Yeah, no, he's from Seoul. I remember reading that about him. He's from Seoul, he's from Seoul. Okay, so this hand on the right.
He's a nit though, actually. I think he's a nit from Seoul. It's the weirdest thing ever.
He might be the only one. Right hand side, I elect to defend Jack 10 off to my buddy Papa's min raise. I'd obviously rather be in the big blind here, but your thoughts on my defender from the small?
I'd probably just 3-bet him.
That's another thing too, is that against people there's some people I'm gonna be worried about getting 4-bet light and stuff, but against him I'm not necessarily worried about getting 4-bet light. But I like to go ahead and flat here. I'm okay with 3-betting too. Right hand side, this is actually two things. I'm gonna extend this. Right hand side, I lead Jack 10 on that turn. Just a lot of hands where guys are gonna have like pocket nines with a club or whatever. A lot of worse pair plus straight draws, pair plus flush draws, or something that are going to call me. So I assume you endorse the lead.
I mean, and protection. Protection is hugely important on that board with your hand.
Yeah, and I think that protection, thinking about protection too much, I think can lead to a lot of leaks. But that's like 2007. Too many people were worried about protection, and that's like live poker almost. Too many people are worried about protection, so they raise top pair. But once you've surpassed that and you have fundamentals down, I think protection then becomes more important. It's hard to explain, but it's just like you want to use protection in the right spots, and you want to apply it correctly and not allow it to put you in a difficult spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is that there's spots where people make plays because of protection, but what it does is it just completely defines their range very early on in the hand and allows a good player to just eviscerate them for the rest of the streets. And so what you want to do is you want to protect your hand in spots where you can have the nuts and you can have air and you can have the hand which you're actually protecting, so that you can't be exploited.
Correct. That's a very good way to put it. On the left-hand side, this guy's relevant new to the table, and I like to 3-bet him. It's King.
I'd fold.
You'd fold King Queen off in the small there?
Small blind against a guy who's opening to 4x, and I have no idea who he is. I just muck.
You just think that the 4x from a random at 3-6 is going to be something pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, I think you see, because especially with our hand, like, what do you want to do if you call, you're going to flop a pair, but what do we want to flop a pair against when he opens to 24? I mean, he doesn't have dominated pair hands that often. I just don't see good situations developing.
I think you're probably right. I didn't put any stock into that, to be honest. I was just like, oh man, I thought let's put it this way, I didn't put enough stock into the read that I didn't put enough stock into the read that he had something pretty good when he opened to 4x, which I should have. I know that tournament players talk about it from time to time, how when somebody opens to 4x in a tournament, they're just not folding. That's just like they're going with the hand. I just didn't put enough. I just didn't put enough stock into it, to be honest, and I went ahead and 3-bet him anyways. Now on the right hand side, what are you doing to that raise?
I'm folding for sure.
Yeah, I think that all of his range is still nutted and stuff because he was checking with relative position to the preflop raiser, or he was gonna, he was checking to the preflop raiser as he quote unquote would with a lot of stuff. Obviously on the left I get insta 4-bet and I just fold and I feel like an idiot. I put my dunce cap on and I sit in the corner. On the right hand side I'm like not real happy about it, but he's nutted. I mean he can be nutted, I should say. So I'm not like worried about like, you know, I think that it gets a little more annoying when we have like top 2 or a set or something like that. I don't think it's that annoying with Jack 10.
It's kind of a sweet spot to bluff against you, to be honest. And he's not aware of that, of course, because he has no idea what's going on. But I mean, if he was,
yeah, I guess I can kind of agree, but I mean I can have good hands.
I think you've a lot of hands which you're bet folding on that board, especially when you have the weak opener on the button, just based on the way you play specifically.
Yeah, you might be right. I'm not going to say that you're definitely not right. I mean, there's a pretty good chance that that's a pretty good spot to bluff raising. But again, like pretty much nobody is gonna pick up on that spot correctly, and it's just a pretty rare spot to be honest. I mean,
I wouldn't worry about it at all.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, the tables though have actually what have you been playing a decent amount of mid stakes lately?
Yeah, well, I've been playing all PLO.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, what I did is I cashed out my whole bankroll because I started school in September, and I left. I had $0 online, but then I was owed $1,000, and so I decided to fuck around with that as my new bankroll, and so I started playing 25-cent, 50-cent PLO with a 1K bankroll, and since I've ran it up to like 75, and I'm playing 510, so it's been pretty fun.
That's pretty sick. You're gonna have to grace our presence with a PLO video.
Hell no.
I mean, okay, all right. If you say so.
PLO is such a mess. Like it's such a shit show.
Yeah, I mean, I just assume so. If you have any secrets, you can tell me off camera, off being recorded. You can tell me your PLO secrets.
I'll make one sometime for sure.
I just haven't gotten into it. I just haven't been able to get into it. It just seems like just a nut job variance fest.
It's really not though, because you can manipulate pots so that you can just play these spots on the turn and river where you just like have huge edges.
Fair enough. I mean, I think I've talked to some people who are pretty smart in PLO, and you know they seem to think that they know something that everybody else doesn't. But I think that it all just kind of in the end, I think it all ends up that not a lot of people really know what's going on. And even if they think they know what's going on, they're not sure if they know what's going on, or I don't know. It just seems like a very it seems like you can play at a pretty high level. It just seems like it seems like a shit show, like you said. It seems like there could be people who think they're good who aren't really good, and they may never figure out they're not good and whatnot. But what do I know?
Yeah, you're right for sure.
On the right hand side, I like to 3-bet Jack 10 off. A little bit of card removal there. I just think it's a good spot with Fast Eddie and Papa in there. I just think that Fast Eddie is opening a decent range under the gun 1 there, and I haven't been absurdly insane. Left-hand side, I decided to 3-bet this guy. I mean, I just have, again, I'm just not going to fold ever to a min-raise, small blind to big blind, and so I just decided to 3-bet 6-2 instead of call it.
Yeah, I like both of those, okay.
Right-hand side, we flop a pair. You know, I'm going to go ahead and check back and try to bluff catch or try to do something on the turn.
Betting.
You like betting on the flop? What are your reasons on betting, and what are you doing to, especially against somebody who might check raise an ace and get it in?
I bet fold for sure.
Just bet fold?
Because you've got 5 outs. Your outs aren't always good.
What do you think about the merits of getting him to bluff with whatever he's got? And what do you think about him bluffing on some later street with Queen Jack, or what if he check raise bluffs you with Queen Jack or diamonds, or what if he does something, you know, what if he's going to bluff on a later street with pocket 5s or something, or I mean, I don't expect that to happen too much, or King 9, or, you know?
We've seen him play 2 hands, and both of the hands he's played, he's taken the most passive line possible, and done it instantly, as if, like, I'm always